Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a legacy video every Friday. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another legacy video, and I'm playing BUG-turbo Doomsday today. The list very similar to the one I played a few weeks ago. The difference is that today is my first video recording since the bannings of Sowing Myco Spawn and Troll of Khazad Doom. And so where does that leave the format? Where does that leave Doomsday? I think it's still early to say, but from the leagues I've played, it seems like people that were in the Eldrazi space, some have remained Eldrazi and seem to be trying that out and seeing if there's an Eldrazi deck that works after Sowing Microspawn, but some have vacated that space and have picked up like mono white or red white initiative. I've played against that deck, red white, like quite a number of times. I also think people are still trying out like different takes on Reanimator. I have faced Reanimator with Wastelands, even though that was sort of what I thought might be the first thing to go, would be the Wastelands and that whole like trying to be a tempo deck still. But people are trying like bug versions with the generous end. I know I've heard of people trying with the red Oliphant card instead. So we'll see. But this has prompted me to make just a couple of tweaks to the sideboard. So the sideboard, as Luca Fasoli designed it, had 2 Leyline of the Void and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. I've consolidated that into 2 Grafdigger's Cages. Obviously, the Leyline is also pretty sweet versus Oops All Spells and a turn 0 play that works there, but I'm okay giving up a few percentages there because I've added 2 Subtlety, which is it's an interesting one in case you're not. It's the blue elemental pitch creature. So this lets you put a creature or planeswalker spell, but most of the time it's going to be creatures, on top or on the bottom of their opponent's deck when it enters, and can be pitched. Yeah, so it can be pitched with a blue card, and then it dies. You can evoke it, but it's also like it's blue too. It's not impossible to cast, but that's secondary for us. And so this can, like, this is pretty decent versus well, I guess also Eldrazi, but initiative. In that, like, initiative decks will, if they're on green or red, they will have spirit guides, and so they'll like, it's not uncommon for them to be like burning like a lotus petal and a spirit guide to play an initiative creature, and if you put that card on top of their deck, they might not have another sort of colored mana source or even like enough mana to cast it. It also sort of time walks Oops All spells. It's not ideal, but it's also not terrible. Where like, and this is here to combat with Force of Negation. Now I'm not removing Force of Negation from the sideboard because I still think like Omnitel is going to be a big deck for the foreseeable future, and I like that there. I also think Force of Negation is okay versus like the Stompy decks of the format. They are still some of them Chalice of the Void decks, etc. But I think having Subtlety is interesting. The last card I cut was the 4th Veil of Summer. I have 1 in the main deck and now 2 in the sideboard. And that was for considerations of probably a downtick in Reanimator. But Veil is also like really good in the blue matchups, especially now that I think it's reasonable to expect like blue control beanstalk type decks to come back. So I think having 3 is fine. And yeah, like Carpet of Flower is still amazing in any blue mirror. So, but with that said, let's jump into a league. Okay, on the play, and let's go. Wow, turn 1 win. Do we jam here? I seem to remember this opponent. I think they were like, they might be like a Stompy player. I'm not sure, but I think this is well, no. I'm gonna go for this. I'm certainly gonna keep. I'm gonna go if I'm wrong and it's a Force of Will deck. I can um, cycle the Edge of Autumn and hope to hit a blue card. And then if it's not, then I just have the win here. Okay, Doomsday just resolved. Okay, so I'm gonna need a brainstorm. I'm just gonna go for it here, and then consider Street Wraith, Thassa, LED, and that should do it. So Thassa on the bottom with Street Wraith on top, and we just have to make sure the brainstorm is the top card of our deck. So play the pedal, cycle this, cast brainstorm. We'll put back Force of Will and consider. Float the LED, cycle Street Wraith maintaining priority, crack LED. That draws us consider, which we cast and put the Force of Will in the graveyard and draw the Thassa. And we win. Okay. Okay, so I did just look up my opponent, and their last several legacy results were all with mono or a mono red Stompy. So I'm gonna sideboard like that's what I think they're playing. So we want the Force of Negation. We want Hydroblast. Abrupt Decay is a consideration, but it's such a weak card if what we're trying to fight is Blood Moon. Subtlety maybe. Like Subtlety puts back Magus of the Moon, but other than that, it's their aggro creatures, so like Broadside Bombardiers. Excuse me. So Consigned to Memory can kill a Chalice on the stack, or the One Ring. I'm not too hyped about that on the draw. Okay, let's see. What don't we want? We don't want Veil of Summer. We don't want the Duress on the draw. I think we also don't want the Preordains. And is there one more card I want to cut to fit the Abrupt Decay? Just to have something, some way of removing something? No, I think I'm going to try this just for now. We'll see. It might not even be Moon Stompy, of course, so who knows. Wow, okay. Strong opening hands here for us, so I'm going to keep again, and we again have turn 1 Doomsday. Not a turn 1 win unless we draw a Cycler or a Petal on our draw step, and we even also have the Force of Will to break up like turn 1 Chalice or something, or turn 1 Blood Moon. Oh, what's this? Is this Oops All Spells? Oh, I was wrong. Huh. Tell you what, with that being the case, I think I want to turn 1 Thoughtseize here. And if we can stop them from doing anything relevant on turn 2, then we just have the same turn win. And if not, we have Force of Will anyways. This sucks if they show me like black mana and 2 discard spells. So let's see here. They have 3 mana right now, but no black mana to cast the Cabal Therapy. But if they top deck a black mana and they cast Cabal Therapy, then I just force it. Yeah, I think I take the Undercity Informer here. I don't think it matters that much, but that's the card I would have to Force of Will, probably. Let's see. Did they spike the Black Source? They did. Okay, I mean, I'm going to force this, and then I'm going to cast Doomsday next turn, and hope that their next draw isn't one of their combo creatures. They have at least 7 outs. If they're playing like Summoner's Pact, they might have more, but okay, so actually, let me just read what this says. It says they mill until they reveal a land card. So I don't think I can really play around them doing that to us because I don't want to take an extra turn out of this. And any land I would put between the top of my deck and Thassa is sort of a turn I'm taking off. Okay, well, let's just put a bunch of Cyclers and Thassa's Oracle in here, and we pray to the gods. Alright, so now we just have to clench our butt cheeks and hope for the best. All right, they concede. They didn't get there. Sweet. Off to winning start versus Oops, and let's go. Mm, Yorion. I think I keep this hand and Yorion. What does like Death and Taxus? Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna keep this hand. I think I just float my under and my polluted delta here, rather than going for the turn one duress. I like the idea of keeping open Veil of Summer. Sometimes Yorion Death and Taxus is a black deck that also can go turn one Thoughtseize. And then if not, oh, Mountain. The old classical Yorion Mountain deck. Interesting. And nothing happens, which nothing did. I'm going to fetch Undercity Sewers here and get a Surveil. LED can go away. Would you look at that? Do I just go for it here? So I think I'm going to go Dark Ritual Doomsday right now. And that will definitely flush out any Force of Will. But if that's the case, I think I'm supposed to play the pedal to be able to Veil of Summer. You never know. This could be like some like Jeskai Yorion control deck. Okay, so it resolved. What the heck? What do I make of this? What can happen? I'm so scared. Okay. So could this be a deck that has Magus of the Moon in it? I'm just trying to think about what things kill me from this position if I don't just try and go for the win. I think I'm gonna go for the win here. I think if they had Force of Will, they would have used it. They could be a Pyroblast deck, but I mean, I don't know what, like Yorion Painter. I've never heard about that, so I'm not gonna play around it. And hey, we'll learn together, right? I'm gonna make it 2 Street Wraiths just in case they. I don't know that they could have any way to interact with my land for Edge of Autumn, but that will leave me at 4 life. I don't think they can deal me 4 damage with 1 mountain. Alright, so Thassa, Cycler, and then the next 3 don't matter, the order. Well, let's see. Okay, put away Force of Will and consider. Play LED. I'm gonna do the whole song and dance here, consider a Cycle Street Wraith, and well, I guess we'll find out shortly if our opponent had Nerves of Steel and were sandbagging something. Thassa's in. And they Lightning Bolt Thassa. Okay. So we know they're a Lightning Bolt deck. A Yorion Lightning Bolt deck. That's super interesting. Okay, I think I know what this deck is. I just looked my opponent up, and they play this Ocelot Pride deck. So this Boros Yorion creature engine deck with like 4 plows and 4 bolts as removal. So from the looks of it, we have to be ready to play around like Mindbreak, Trap, Disruptor, Fluid, Pyroblast, and Magus of the Moon as relevant things, but in their 80 card deck. I think this could be a matchup for Subtlety for the Magus, but probably not a lot else. Trying to work out if Consign to Memory is worth a slot here. If they like it counters Disruptor Flute. If they have some white hate bear like that has ETB effects that could also counter that. I think Hydroblast is good. I think Force of Negation is probably also fair. I don't think we want Veil of Summer. I don't think we want Duress. And I think I'll cut the 2 Preordains. So maybe just board like this. Ooh. And the first mulligan of the day. I think I don't know, God. No, I'll mulligan this as well. Yep, I'll keep here. I'll bottom Pedal and Daze. And let's see how we do. Elegant Parlor. Okay. Now, just show me a Doomsday in the top 2 cards of my deck, and I will be in hog heaven. That's not a Doomsday. Okay, I'm going to cycle Street Wraith here. Okay, another land. That's not terrible, although the ETB is annoying. The ETB tapped, I mean. Hey, there is Doomsday. Sweet. Is there any... What? So, I'm looking at this situation. It's just a nice little experiment, like thought experiment here. It's marginal, but we have a choice about which card to put in our hand. Because we definitely want Doomsday, and then maybe we want Ponder to pitch the Force of Will instead of Consider, because maybe Consider is worth more post Doomsday. So we have to ask ourselves, what's more likely? That they would be able to take a card out of our hand, or that they would be able to shuffle our deck as to where is Doomsday most safe. I think, given the colors that they're on, even though it would be very unlikely, there is a slightly higher like risk that they would be able to surgical extract Street Wraith or Ponder here, rather than them suddenly also having black and having like Thoughtseize. So I'm going to put Doomsday in my hand, and then I'm going to draw the Ponder. Maybe there was a consideration to be given to drawing the Thoughtseize instead. And if this Undercity Sewers was an Underground Sea so that it wouldn't enter tap, then I think I probably would prefer to draw Thoughtseize to be able to Thoughtseize on the same turn. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so here's a Plains, but a pass. Okay. Um, I mean, I think I just go for the Doomsday here. Maybe I'm supposed to put Undercity Sewers into play first. Is that a thing? Like, I don't think so. This just sort of counts as my pile is 4 cards instead of 5, which is, you know, just on the face of it, just preferable. All right, this beats Mindbreak Trap. It doesn't get Pyroblasted. Surprised if they had Disruptor Flute, they wouldn't use it in response to at least the Dark Ritual. And also, like, play patterns from people playing Disruptor Flute for me has been to cast it immediately on the draw step of the first turn where they can, or on the upkeep, but maybe they're worried about days. I still think because we have Force of Will, and if they're playing around days with their Disruptor Flute and they have another land and they also have Pyroblast, then it's kind of bad. The vibe I'm getting mostly here is Pyroblast from them. Okay, so I'm just trying to work out if I'm supposed to put Jace in this pile as well. So we want Camera Souls, Thassa's Oracle. What would it look like if we wanted Jace? We would have Jace and then another land, which would be Island, I guess. And then there's a card that is going to be milled right now with Undercity Sewers, which I suppose doesn't really matter. Is there any upside to any particular card getting milled? I can't think of one. Okay. I guess I will mill a... Well, not something I have in my hand, because if I put Force of Will and then they actually have Surgical Extraction, that's really, really awkward. So I guess I'll just make it another, like a Dark Ritual. So somehow, like, my Doomsday gets shuffled in to my deck. If they suddenly turn out to be green and have Endurance, then, yeah. Alright. And I think I put Jace as my last card, and then Thassa, and then Dark Ritual here, and I mill over Dark Ritual. Hey, it's a Dark Ritual. Okay. Samwise, the Stooty Booty. Okay. So they have a 2/1 flash threat here. And I don't think they didn't get to put anything in. So they become the Ring Bearer. That's fine. So right now we could put Thassa on the stack with Force of Will backup here. But is there really any rush here? So they get to bounce Sam and replay him, and so he becomes a Ring Bearer, where they get to loot a card. So if I draw, like, say, Cavern of Souls right now with Consider, and then I cast Thassa, then they Pyroblast her once she resolves, and then I have Jace on the next turn. Though not really on the next turn, it will be 2 more turns if I want to keep Force of Will up. Let's see, I'll be at 5, then I'll be at 3, and then I'll be at 2 from Force of Will. And that at that point, Lightning Bolt also becomes a thing. I think I'm gonna Ponder here. Okay. They surgical extract the dark ritual. Okay. I mean, they get to see my hand, but this doesn't change the ponder. There are only 3 cards in the deck. Okay. So I guess we can draw Cavern of Souls here. And then I really have to decide if I want to play into whatever's in their hand. Like waiting a turn doesn't seem like it's going to do a lot here. Cuz like next turn it's not like I can play Jace next turn. I think I'm going to go for it now and then I'll force of will their Pyroblast or whatever it is, and if they then have Mindbreak Trap or another removal spell, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles. If they had Lightning Bolt on Thassa, guess I'll try and force that. And now Mindbreak Trap is live for my force. And if they have Plow, I gain a life, I guess. That's an upside. Okay, they want to bounce their Sam. Maybe they have Subtlety, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Subtlety pitching Sam. I mean, this means if they have Pyroblast now, then Jace, like, then I'm losing. But, yeah. Deafening Silence, sure. I'll just sit on this island here. Doesn't really matter. Don't think there is a spell that bounces a land that I know of that would be played. Okay, so we have to pray for no Pyroblast. And otherwise, I don't think there's anything else that does it here. Lightning Bolt's not good enough because Jace will be at 5 loyalty. Ah, dang, they had the Pyroblast. Okay, on to game number 3. Does anything change here? Um, Maybe Duress is not the worst. And maybe like Subtlety is just a little bit too cutesy. So yeah, let's just try this change here. Yeah, if I had just played it slow, I think Thassa would just have won there. Maybe I got a little bit too cute about it. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand, and I'm gonna lead with Polluted Delta into Underground Sea and cast Ponder, I think. Or maybe I lead with Street Wraith, actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cycle the Street Wraith first, and then either get lucky and hit a Dark Ritual, or can cast Ponder with more, more knowledge. I think I just float the Pluto Delta actually, and then I get a Surveil, and then I can also Force of Will pitching Ponder instead of Thassa. Okay, no play there off the Flooded Strand. Could be they are sitting on a Pyroblast. Let's get under City Sewers. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll take another land here, and I think I just pass here and then like cast Doomsday next turn. They probably get a Surveil land here. They like what they found, so they kept it on top. I take a blind draw here. Hey, it's a Dark Ritual. That's kind of neat. Um, Not sure it changes a lot. Like, this Dark Ritual basically means I get to put a land in the pile. And then like have a draw already handled, which I'm going to do. All right, so we want the Cavern of Souls. We want, I guess, I'll take a tropical island just in case they could have Wasteland Surgical on Underground Sea. I don't expect that, and I could just fetch then if that was the case. But still, if they were to they could catch me off guard if they Wasteland my Underground Sea, and then when I go to fetch, then they Surgical. But I don't expect that to happen. But you never know. Okay, and so we want some Cyclers. Oh, hang on. Do I want Abrupt Decay here? How does this work? Like what Abrupt Decay for like Disruptor Flute maybe? I'm also almost I have enough mana here to just pay 5 mana for Thassa, so maybe Abrupt Decay is kind of not that useful. Because if I replace Abrupt Decay with a Street Wraith, then I just win next turn, right? So yeah, let's do that instead. Okay, let's put the 2 lands on the bottom and then the Cyclers. And I will pass here. I'm at 7, I'm at 5, I'm at 4 if I cast Force of Will as well. So if they have like Sam here, they could have lethal with a lightning bolt. If I can't point the Force of Will at the Sam, or rather at the lightning bolt, I mean. Okay, but they didn't. They have another survey land. They put broadside bombardiers into the graveyard. Right on. Okay, they could have Magus now. They have Magus mana. Ajani, what's her face? His face. Yep, make a cat. No one cares. Surgical extraction is the only thing I'm like even slightly worried about right now, and now I'm no longer worried. So let's start cycling. This will draw us the Cavern of Souls. And now we just have to not make the mistake I once made, which is see the mana here in my mana pool. So if I were to click on Thassa's Oracle right now, the game client would just see, oh, he's trying to cast a spell that costs exactly blue blue. There is exactly blue blue in the pool, and it wouldn't like ask me to empty the mana from my pool. It would just do it, and then Thassa would be on the on the stack and not have gone through the cavern. And I'm just gonna fetch now and get rid of the land in my deck, just in case they were to have like subtlety plus pyroblast. I know that I have force, but then if their last card is like, I don't know, I'm not sure what it would need to be, but something. This is just the safer way. I don't think there's really anything, any downside to doing it like this. Yeah, and this is one of the strengths of the deck, in that it plays around like Mind Break Trap so well. Yeah, you can Pyroblast. And we did it. 2-0. Let's go for round number 3. Alrighty, another dice roll win here on the play for round number 3. And oof. Oh, my brain is hurting here. This is almost a turn 1 win, right? So we go Petal Dark Ritual Doomsday, cycle Street Wraith into a land, tap the land for blue, cycle Edge of Autumn into Brainstorm, 3 cards left in the deck, cast the Brainstorm, and then we put back. Yeah, this is a win, and you can't stop me. I'm going for it. Wow, I've had some crazy explosive hands here. Um, so let's hope the opponent is non-force of will. Okay, so let's just walk through this. I put the pile of Underground Sea is the top card. I cycle Street Wraith. I draw it. I play it. Tap it for blue. Cycle Edge of Autumn. I draw Brainstorm. Brainstorm draws me Lion's Eye Diamond, Thassa's Oracle, and the other Street Wraith. And that way, with the 2 blue cards in my hand, I can get to no cards in the deck. All right, sweet. So Thassa's LED Cycler, Brainstorm, and then Underground Sea on top. All right, let's make a blue mana, cycle this, cast Brainstorm, and I will put back, doesn't matter, but I'll just put back Preordain and then Street. Oh, sorry, hang on. Preordain and then, so Thassa on the bottom and then Preordain. That's it. And here's LED. Sack this, cycle, and sack for blue. We draw the Preordain. And we put Thassa on the top of our deck and cast her. Sweet. Okay. I have to go look at what this opponent is playing. Same as the other 2 rounds, basically. Okay, this opponent has a bunch of finishes with black, white, death and taxes. So that's what I'm going to expect them to be on here. So they are a 4 Thoughtseize deck, so I think I want Veil of Summer. They're also Bowmaster deck. They probably also play something like Deafening Silence, but I'm not sure I want Force of Negation for that. I think we can go without Jace here. I don't think we need a secondary win condition. I think the 2 Preordains can go. And what? Do I want a copy of Abrupt Decay? just to hedge. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. Hmm. This hand feels questionable, so I'm gonna mulligan it. Yeah, I'll keep this. And bottom Thassa. They Thoughtsees me here. They probably have to take personal. Ooh, what's this? Lotus Petal. This isn't black, white death and taxes. Holy cannoli! This is something completely different. Grim Monolith. Okay, so it's like a coveted jewel PO deck, I think. Tony Scapone special. Well, I mean, if the last two cards is force and blue card, okay, it weren't. Phew. Lines of diamond. Okay. Man, that kind of caught me off guard. But that's also the price of peeking at what your opponent might maybe playing here. Okay, Thoughtseize. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cast that right now. Stock up, Painter Servant. Painter Servants. Okay, so it's like it's a sort of hybrid painter deck. So right now they are some ways away from casting the One Ring. They're only an Ancient Tomb away from casting Stock Up. I think I'm gonna take the Stock Up actually. I mean, obviously the One Ring has more sort of inevitability. If they end up resolving that, it's pretty bad. Stock Up is also a blue card if they're on Force of Will. And I think I'm actually gonna get Undercity Sewers here because I would rather get the card selection right now than hold up a Veil of Summer that I might just never cast. Okay, Ponder is great. Force of Will, Brainstorm, and Street Wraith. I'm gonna shuffle these. Okay. Well, it's not. It's sort of slipping out of reach right now. Okay, they're passing. They're also breaking here, but like I think any mana from them sort of unlocks their hand. And I'm just drawing all the mana here. You know what they say? Screw beats flood. Yeah. Well, Urza Saga. They can cast the Painter, and now they're like just a short ways away from. They choose blue. If they want to grindstone me out, they must have not seen the Veil of Summer in my deck. Okay, I'm gonna duress here. Force of Negation, Grim Monolith. So this Grim Monolith still doesn't get them there. If they draw land, they can Grim Monolith out the One Ring. I think I take the One Ring here. I guess that's also a reason for them to be on blue, because now that way they could had something to pitch to the Force of Negation. Looks like they didn't find a mana. Oh, they did. Never mind. So they're prioritizing making a golem or construct rather than casting the Grimroth. Come on. Bummer. Okay. And they're not going for the kill. Do they not have it? They must have Grindstone, right? That's so interesting. I mean, I guess these contracts are just super big, so that's a kill as well. But I mean, if I draw Doomsday right now, they have Force of Negation up right now, but I have Veil of Summer, so I would have to draw Doomsday, and then like the Veil of Summer would have to draw me a cantrip of some sort. I'm just gonna thin one card here. Okay, and I'm gonna concede. I could cast Dark Ritual, I guess, and see if they would Force of Negation that, and then I Veil, blah blah blah. But okay, so now we know we're up against a sort of 8 cast, One Ring Painter type deck. So I think Consigned to Memory is suddenly like more interesting. It's funny, like Jace Wheeler of Mysteries is actually just it just shuts off the Grindstone win. If Jace is ever in play, they can't mill you out or they instant lose because then you draw from an empty deck. So that's actually pretty fun. I'm not expecting that to necessarily come up, but you never know. Okay, so Consigned Memories come in. I think I'll cut a Cycler or two, and maybe I don't know, like one personal tutor. Yeah, let's try this. I'll keep this. And I think I'm gonna turn one Thoughtseize here. I want to be able to like slow them down. The reason I didn't fetch two times the last turn of the last game was I wanted to be able to fetch Bayou, but I didn't want to show them Bayou basically. Okay, so they have a land, they have a pedal, and they have Mox Opal that's currently turned off. I think I actually take the Mox Opal here. And I think they have, if they didn't draw anything exciting, they have to just play the soporific springs here and lits it in because they have to keep open consign to memory because they think that's going to be super important. But we have Jace, so that's nice, but that's a later thing. Okay, I'm going to cast Ponder here because I really don't want to miss on my second land drop. And I don't. And there's a personal tutor as well. Wow, that's sweet. I'm ready to daze like stock up or thoughtcast. Ooh, Urza Saga is scary because that'll sort of make it so that things will have to go fast for us here. I think I will fetch the tropical island here because I don't want to, like, if I don't fetch and then on their turn something happens and a war breaks out and I want to cast Veil of Summer, I would have to shuffle away my Doomsday. So giving up the information that we're on green here is worth it, I believe. And now is really interesting because they can get out a grindstone here and activate it on their next turn. But without the painter, it doesn't kill us. And it would almost tap them out. And then we have to decide if we think we're able to play around the grindstone activation, which is really tricky. But I'm gonna Dark Ritual Doomsday here. And then try and figure it out. Okay. So here is Jace. So what if we take like a pedal and then we have Thassa. Okay, how about this? How about this? This is pretty sweet, but we have to make sure we don't die to like giant constructs. Okay, so right now we cast Brainstorm. We draw Jace, Cavern of Souls, and Lotus Petal. And then we put back like Veil of Summer and Force of Will, I guess. And then, so my deck is Thassa's Oracle, Cavern of Souls, Force of Will, and Veil of Summer. And my hand is Daze, Jace, and Lotus Petal. And so next turn, I draw the Force of Will. And if I don't draw the Force of Will, that's because they've milled me. So the Force of Will and the Veil of Summer have gone into the graveyard. And then in that case, I think we need Thassa's Oracle and Cavern of Souls to be actual cards. No, not Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Souls is still good. But Thassa's Oracle maybe needs to be Force of Will. So let me just walk through this again. So Brainstorm, we hit, we draw Jace, Petal, Cavern. I guess Cavern then doesn't need to be a Cavern, but okay, it's fine. Then we play the Cavern, and the deck, yeah, I think I'm going to try this. Let me see if maybe I've... I don't like if I don't have Force of Will, because I think there's a chance they've drawn a Force of Will or a Force of Negation. They probably play 8 after board. But, alright, so Force of Will on the bottom. Or is the Edge of Autumn is the card that needs to be on the bottom? Did I just forget about that? Yeah, I think Edge of Autumn, and then Force of Will. And so these 3 cards are on top. Okay, so let's cast Brainstorm. And let's put back Veil of Summer, and then Force of Will on top. And then I'm going to play Cavern on Merfolk, because that will sort of lay the scent that Thassa's Oracle is still my plan here. Um, and we'll pass. And this should be able to beat a grindstone activation. So let's see. They'll have a. This is a 3/3. It becomes a 4/4 and a 5/5 if they make a construct. I don't think it can become an 8/8, and we don't need it. Like if it's a 7/7, that means Force of Will is off, which would be annoying, but maybe okay. But looks like they're just floating mana here. Yeah, and there is Grindstone. Grim Monolith. Oh no, do they also have the Painter? I guess that would be kind of sick. So let's see here. Will they let me? When do they activate here? I'm gonna pause here to make them think that it's important. Okay, I pass priority. All right, they let me draw. I drew the Force of Will. So now they need to counter the Force of Will. They could also like if they consign a memory this Lotus Petal, which they are thinking about right now because they have 2 consigns, I think. Okay, so they do consign it, but look what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna daze this consign to memory, and then I can replay my Underground Sea. This makes it so that I don't have Force of Will, but I obviously lose if I don't have 4 mana. So okay, so that happened. Um, yeah, I worry about a force on their part, but hey, it is what it is. So that was one consign. So I guess they only have 1 card I don't know about, right? All right, here we go. Jace is in. Target myself. I draw. They can't. Sink into Stupor is blue, which they don't have. So I think I'm safe to go for it here. Hey, we got there. We beat the active grindstone. Love that. Love that. And the double consign to memory hand. Sweet. Jace. All right, off to round number 4. All right. So on the draw, totally unfair if you ask me. And with a good hand here, I'm going to keep. Opponent is a volcanic island player. Ponder. So immediately we think some kind of Delver strategy or sneak and show with I guess like 4 or 5 color control as my third guess. I think I'm gonna actually lead on the tropical island. Try to throw off the scent a little bit. But then again, I do want to maybe cast Preordain before Ponder here. Ooh, and I find my Dark Ritual. That's exactly what I wanted. Do I want the 3rd land? Yeah, I think I do. I'm gonna put both on top and draw the Dark Ritual. If it is Delver and they have like Mishra's Bauble, I would rather them Bauble and see Misty Rainforest than Dark Ritual. Flooded Strand. Okay, it is DRC. Duty Booty. Okay. There's the Bauble. And they do Bauble me. Wow. They probably think it's combo and that it's maybe Omnitel. I don't know. Alright, play Misty. We're just jamming here. We have double force backup. They are, like, they will be Delirious next turn because they can fetch. So, okay. That was a long pause and then Dark Ritual resolved. They force. We let the DRC trigger resolve. So let's see here. I will be at 9 once Doomsday resolves. 8 if I have to double force. And they will have a 3/3. So if they have double Lightning Bolt, then that's the winning ticket here. Let's see what they pitched a Murktide. So I'm not going to play into a Daze. I'm not going to play into a Daze here. And by that I mean I'm not going to I'm gonna pitch. Sorry, I'll start over. Pitching the Ponder here. If they let this resolve, I'm not gonna go for a same turn win with Brainstorm. All right, let's see. They are fetching here, so that means they have Brainstorm or yeah, okay. So they are looking Desperado style. They put a Volk into the graveyard. Okay, it looks like Doomsday is resolving. So we want Thassa and 2 copies of Edge of Autumn. And I'm going to actually cast Brainstorm now. Give up on my Force of Will. So where does that leave me? Put a land in to fetch out here. If they have Wasteland plus Days, a lot of things can go wrong here. All right, I don't. I clicked on a Street Wraith, but I don't think I'm going to put it in because I don't think I can afford to take the life loss. Let's just see here. So they have a 3/3. Let's assume they have one Lightning Bolt. That puts me to 3 life. So pitch casting Force and Cycling Street, or like fetching and Cycling Street Wraith is off. Um, we could try and just make a Lineside Diamond pile. But then if they daze us, if they daze this brainstorm, then it's over. Gosh, I don't know. This is hard. I guess we could try and see with the daze thing here. How does this work? Let's say they don't daze the brainstorm, and then so brainstorm draws 1, then no, then I can't get both of these cyclers and LED and Thassa into my hand. So that's no good. That's no bueno. This is annoying. This is like causing me much more of a headache than I would have hoped. Okay, so let's say that we just don't brainstorm and we go for a next turn where we like cycle Thassa fetch, and then like the deck will have 1 card left, but we will have Force of Will for like a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this. That means the cavern is sort of no importance here. But then if they wasteland me, then it's a problem, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's a problem if they wasteland me here, because then it's a 50-50 crapshoot if the cavern or the Thassa is the card that's on top once we fetch and then cycle for the second time. Okay, they did have wasteland. So now like days and plus the crapshoot I was just talking about, everything is on here. So yeah, I might just talk myself out of a win. I don't know. We'll see. Let's cycle this. So like even if I do get lucky on the 50-50 here, I have to. They have to not have like both a bolt and a. Oh, fuck me. Yep. Oh, that was bad pile. That was bad pile building on my part. I think I could have done something better there. All right, so for sideboarding purposes, we want the 2 veils, the 2 carpets. I think we want Abrupt Decay, and maybe we want like Flusterstorm and Hydroblast. Hydroblast, I'm not so sure, but maybe. And then we can, I think we get rid of the Force of Wills. We can cut a Lotus Petal. Um, let's cut the 2 Preordains, I think. Yeah. All right, on the play, let's go. Yeah, I'll keep this. Go Underground Sea Ponder here. Opponent mulligan to 6. Let's cast this Ponder. Yeah, I'll take these. Take a Bayou. Okay, there is a Dragon's Roost Chandler. That's fine. I'm gonna cast the Ponder here, even though I know the Street Wraith is the top card. Personal Tutor. Yeah, I think I like Personal Tutor. No, I clicked Shuffle. God damn it, that was a mistake. No. Okay, I'll pass here and I'll go Undercity Sewers. Oh, that was bad. Misclick. They have a Wasteland. Yikes. Okay, I'm somewhat insulated versus that, with the 2 lands in my hand and 1 in play, but still, it's not ideal. Alright, let's get Undercity Sewers and get the Surveil. Yeah, I'll take a Brainstorm. Please and thank you. And I'll Brainstorm now, and if they daze, I'll daze back. I kind of want the fetch land potential. Oh, right, it's not daze. They weren't tapped out. They want to Pyroblast this. Let the Dragon's Rage Chandler trigger resolve. Alright, let's daze this. Yeah, this. Oh, this is not ideal, but also I don't know. Could be worse, I guess. The carpet is the saving grace right now. Okay, So I'm gonna put back undersea sewers on top. I'm gonna cast this carpet. Okay, so I think I'm gonna trigger this and maybe cast my Duress. Spend my mana here. Maybe that's not the best. I don't know. Ooh, stock up and many pyroblasts. I think I'm gonna take the pyroblast. Many stock ups and one pyroblast, I suppose. If they wasteland me here, I probably Edge of Autumn. I was gonna cast that actually to shuffle away the other card down the Lines of Diamond. Okay, so that's actually that. I am gonna do that. Okay, let's trigger this. Make green, and I'll play the Petal. And I guess they want to keep the Wasteland in play to be able to cast Stock Up, which probably means they drew a land. And then I play my Undercity Sewers. Let's put Petal into the graveyard and pass. So that means no Stock Up this turn. Casting Brainstorm here. Okay, so now that we know they have Stock Up next turn. Oh, and I draw another land. Yeah, I feel like this is like getting out of reach for me. I'm gonna keep hold of my cards in hand right now. Good thing is they operate on islands so much, so the carpet is gonna have some equity here, but we need Brainstorm to like dig us out of this next turn. They cast their stock up, and I draw another land. Yeah, this game is lost. All right, opponent, do your worst. Comes second stock up. This feels very unwinnable now, but maybe like if they haven't found a third Pyroblast and I draw Brainstorm next turn, then maybe. All right, somehow their Dragon's Rage Chandler is still not delirious. That's actually hilarious. On Brainstorm, Are you kidding me? I feel like conceding just out of absolute and utter frustration of drawing what 3 lands in a row. God damn it. Well, I guess we're not technically dead, so I'll keep playing. All right. Well, why wouldn't I draw Lines Out Diamond? And now they have double DRC. Okay, I can finally concede. Oh, that was frustrating. Yeah, I don't think I played very well, and I think I tilted a little bit after that game 1 loss, so there's that. All right, off to the final round. All right, on the draw for the final round, I get an interesting hand. I'm going to keep it. A lot can go wrong here. At least we will have an idea of what our opponent is up to if we get to put Doomsday on the stack here. Vault of Whispers. Duress. Okay, well, they probably have to take Dark Ritual here, and I have to wonder what we're up against. Maybe it's that Soul Spike sort of life gainy Necrodominance deck I've seen, or it could just be a Beseech the Mirror Storm deck. Yeah, they take Dark Ritual. And can they do more here? If they had a second discard spell, I would assume they would have taken both Doomsdays. So, yeah, let's see. Alright, turns out they just pass after playing that Petal. Okay, another Petal or a Dark Ritual. Personal Tutor, okay. Well, let's cast Undercity, or play Undercity Sewers, and put Daze in the graveyard, and let's play out our Petal here. So if they have a combo next turn, leaving Daze on top to cycle Edge into wouldn't have made sense because my island would be gone, so I couldn't cast Daze. They certainly have mana now, so Chrome Mox, okay. So if they have Beseech the Mirror here, I think I'm on cycle Edge of Autumn into into Force of Will or Bust. There's Lines Out Diamond, okay. We can hope this is only or just an Echo of Eons. Infernal Tutor. I think I'll let this resolve, and then like I would rather them lose their LED. This has to be Beseech, right? And they can bargain away the Vault of Whispers or the Chrome Mox, and then replay LED. I suppose. Hang on. They passed priority. That was weird. So now they. Oh, I'm a little bit confused here. Yeah, okay. Well, Let's see if we can hit a land. Third Doomsday. Yikes. Okay. Well, let's cast Ponder. Go looking for Force of Will. None of these cards are Force of Will. I think I have to shuffle this. I mean, alright. I don't feel good. Let's see. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. I'm guessing they drew that. Would be hard for me to imagine they got that with Infernal Tutor. Is this Beseech the Mirror? Um, so I think I. Is there any benefit to letting this resolve? I think I just let this resolve, and then they get the bargain thing that they get as well. I mean, and then I try and I Hail Mary Edge of Autumn for a Force of Will. I could also just like have a look and see if they actually have the resources. I haven't counted. I'm guessing they will. So okay, so right now this is on the stack. If I let this resolve, the LED cannot be replayed. Um, so they would have like they would be able to like get triple black, play the two petals. So they would have 5 black, and then they could cast Mishra's Bauble as well. So the storm count is 3. It would be petal 4, petal 5, bauble 6. They could then duress 7, beseech 8. I guess they could also like cast Infernal Tutor for a dark ritual. So yeah, I think this can't be allowed to resolve. So I'm gonna fetch. I mean, I know it's very small, but it is an increase of of your chances of drawing a card if there was one card fewer in your deck. Could we draw Street Wraith? Cycle that. Edge of Autumn number 2. Okay, it's funny. And a Ponder. Okay, so this resolves. I'm dead. I guess like Veil of Summer would also have been a potential out here. I don't know if they can have a game 1 way to beat that. I'm also at 17 life now, so much fewer storm counts are needed here. I think I am just gonna concede. Yep. And trust that my opponent can figure it out from here. Okay, so we have a lot that can come in here. Veil of Summer, oops. Consign to Memory, Flusterstorm, Grafdigger's Cage, Force of Negation. It's a whole 9 cards. And so let's go about trimming what's in here to become more of a combo control deck. Don't expect we'll need Jace. I think Cavern of Souls can also go. So I need one more cut here. So we'll be at 19, 22 blue cards if I cut another personal tutor. I think I'm okay with this. Alright, let's try. Yeah, this works. And put on only 6. I am gonna just go Underground Sea Go here, and then I will Flusterstorm a Thoughtseize, or Duress Effect if they have that. And then like next turn I can Duress with either Flusterstorm or Consign Up if I don't have to do anything on turn 1 here. There's a petal. Okay, looks like they're just passing. Okay, let's float the fetch land. So if they have like Orcish Bowmasters right now, that's actually a card I don't have a good way to interact with here, but we'll see. Urza's Saga is going to eventually be a problem. But okay, let's get rid of the Burning Wish. And we'll pass. There's the Saga. And they drew Bauble. Sure. And now I could consign to memory the trigger here, the chapter 2 trigger. I think I'm going to do that actually. Let's just cast with Replicate 1. I mean, we know their hand, right? Or is there one card we don't know? Yeah, I forgot. Alright. So, I mean, eventually they'll get to search up something, but I'll hopefully be able to leverage the cards in my hand to my advantage in that case. All right, I am gonna fetch Undercity Sewers now. I did do it before because I didn't really know if I wanted access to green mana, but I have the pedal, so Grafdigger's Cage. I think I'm gonna put that in the graveyard. I think I have enough that sort of interacts with their combo. Of course, I draw another land. Okay, come on, Duress. A couple of Dark Rituals. Triple Dark Ritual, okay. Well, that was somewhat unexciting. But it is worrying because they'll be able to play around around this Flusterstorm probably. They have 2 unknown cards, and now they are getting to Demonic Tutor for something. I'm not going to fetch in case they go for Pithing Needle on Verdant Catacombs. That would be really surprising to me. And if they do, then it's probably okay. It would be kind of annoying because let's say they do that and they actually go off and I actually have to, yeah. Okay, so this they just get to scry to, and then you can gain life and draw a card. That's nice. I like this card. And they went top bottom. Okay. Man, Null Rod would wreck this deck. Except for the Urza Saga, I guess, but like half of your lands are looks like it's like artifact lands. Brainstorm, yes please. How about don't have Orcish Bowmasters? Oh god. Well, I'm not really going anywhere here. Alright, let's Thassa's Oracle, put that back, and I think like a Thoughtseize is actually fine here. I'll put away Lotus Petal. Okay, let's take one of these Dark Rituals, or if they found something else interesting, Lotus Petal. Not that interesting. Okay, we'll take a Dark Ritual. And we'll pass. And they bobble us. I'm going to fetch before the draw step. And okay, they draw a card here. So suddenly they're up to like 3 unknown cards. They're also kind of down on resources now, I guess. And they don't know what's in my hand. Okay. Infernal Tutor. Okay. I'm guessing this is getting another Dark Ritual. Okay, it looks like they're going for it. Infernal Tutor with 5 mana floating. So is there any world where I don't just Flusterstorm right now? They would get, what, Beseech the Mirror? So the problem is if they get some kind of permanent that I can't Flusterstorm. I'm going to let this resolve. I don't think they can't cast Song of Creation with the mana they're showing. That's probably not even in their deck. If they can't cast Boros Citadel, which would be another thing that maybe they would be playing. If they get the One Ring or something, that is terrifying. And it was Beseech the Mirror, as I had hoped. So this cost them a Lotus Petal and the Vault of Whispers. So this was certainly worth it. Alright, I have to remember to fetch here because I don't want the card. Get Bayou. Veil of Summer, I'll take it. It's a line of defense here, and they have to begin the rebuild process. So I think the scariest card for me now is if they draw Urza Saga. Certainly not Mox Opal. Come on, Doomsday, or a cantrip. I'll take a cantrip. Yeah, I'll cycle Street Wraith into Ponder, and then, like, Ponder again, seeing 2 fresh cards. Shuffle these. Draw Dark Ritual anyways. They are up to, like, Beseech the Mirror, win the game mana right now. Personal Tutor, okay. I'm going to just put it on top here. I could go for casting Doomsday this turn, but then I don't win on the same turn, and I want to win on the same turn. Okay, they concede. Sweet. Alright, so we got there just about. Is there anything here that makes us want to do anything differently? Probably not. Yeah, I think this is fine. Consigning that Saga trigger, I think, absolutely decided the game. I think I would have lost otherwise. That's a good use of that card that I don't think about that much. I still we've shown them green mana, but I still don't think we've shown them Veil of Summer. This hand I'm not too excited about, but I also don't think it's one that I can throw away. It has like land, cantrips, and force of will. Thoughtseize. Well, it had force of will, and they do take the force of will. Okay. Uh-oh, are they able to win here? Okay, looks like they're just playing the pedal. Flusterstorm, that's kind of nice. I am gonna dress them at the cost of a Lotus Petal here. Yep, let's take the Beseech the Mirror. So, I think we're back to right now. Or is the Saga being the scariest thing they can do? If they discard me here, I'm gonna Brainstorm in response. Okay, they found Blindside Emin, okay. I think I just play my Undercity Sewers here. And I actually, no, I'm gonna put this into the graveyard. This land. There's Ancient Tomb. So a lot of mana. Flusterstorm is quickly becoming a little bit of a, uncertainty. Um, I think I Brainstorm here. Yeah, wow. So sweet. This just wins the game, right? Unless they have something. Let's put back Veil and put back Flusterstorm. They do appear to be of sixth, so we cast Consider, sack LED, Consider bins, let's say Brainstorm. Okay, they conceded. Yeah, that's fine. So we got there. Sweet deal. 4-1. All right, so let's walk through this league here. I think the deck performed pretty well. We had it overperformed a bit in the early rounds, and then that somewhat sort of evened out. I think over the course of the league, um, it showed what it can do versus non-blue sort of off the off the wall decks like the Cat Ocelot Pride deck, and we had a game versus or a match versus Death and Taxes, which was also pretty uneventful. And then we kind of stumbled against the Delver deck. I messed up on my pile. I would like to go back and have a look at it because I don't know, like, it is also just pretty tricky versus a resolved 3/3 creature in the Lightning Bolt deck to make a pass a turn pile when they also have Wasteland, and you have to just figure out what you're more likely to have to play, play around. But I think I messed up. I think I opened myself up to more than I needed to. Um, I could. We still don't know if they even had a daze, which was the only thing I was playing around that was stopping me from just winning on the same turn. So yeah, but that can just also be the sort of pressure points they put you under, just from a structural point of view. That matchup particular, like tempo with red, and then I think I just like completely spun my wheels in game number two, and I think also just tilting a little bit. I don't know that I played too well. And then this final round was close versus the fast combo deck. We already played against another fast combo deck, also Noobs All Spells. So I think we actually got to showcase Legacy a little bit here, like Death and Taxes, a Boros Cat life gain Yorion strategy that was really like quite unique, and then Oops All Spells, Delver, and Saga Storm here. And I don't think the subtleties really came up that much, but I did board them in a couple of times. I like the sideboard having like a spread of things, like the one Flusterstorm that came up in both post board games versus Saga Storm. I like the Veils there as well. I think the sideboard is pretty balanced. Yeah, and I think that's it. So I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.